You got your microphone? We are
Yes.
live. Happy Wednesday. Happy. Why do I always look around like it's going to be another day instead of Wednesday?
I don't know why you
I
think that.
don't
I don't know.
know. My
I don't know.
goodness
Maybe it's a
gracious.
watermelon you ate this morning.
Watermelon is
No.
delicious. It's very sweet too.
Good. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Henderson Jr. I'm a certified financial planner, certified tax coach, and I'm the president, founder, and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. And here beside me, my co-host is my wonderful, beautiful, talented, forward-thinking daughter, Hyacinth Renee Henderson. How you doing, Renee? Just let the world know your middle name is Renee,
Right.
huh?
I'm
I
doing
had to get an
one.
R in there. I couldn't say Hyacinth Robert. I wanted to say Hyacinth. When you was a baby, I wanted
Hmm.
to name you Hyacinth Robert Henderson. But Joyce said, no, don't do that, Rob. So I said, okay, Renee.
Okay. So that's why you like telling the world that my middle name is Renee.
Yeah. R. H
Okay.
R H R H. That's your initials. HRH.
I got you. All right.
Okay.
I'm doing well. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah.
Let me
Having you here,
stop.
you put yourself right where
I
your thoughts.
know.
Your thought. That's what we're talking about today. How you doing, Miss Redhead, Mr. Redhead? That's what we want to talk about today. The thoughts are so powerful.
Hmm.
And today we're talking about there's nothing to change ever.
Hmm.
Quit trying to change other people. There's nothing and nobody to change. There's nothing to change but yourself, right?
And yes, and before we get into that, let's
Yes.
tell the
Introduce
people,
who
right?
you are.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
I am by trade a licensed stockbroker, registered investment advisor, representative, annuity and insurance broker. I serve as the co CEO at the Henderson Financial Group. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the learning of it all, the teaching of it all, the education of it all. And I've been here for almost 22 years now.
That's great. And I like that. When you were
Yeah.
saying it, I was thinking about when you say you enjoy, and I was
Hmm.
looking at the definition of enjoy, and I was just
Hmm.
reading earlier today how Bill Gates, the CEO, founder, president of Microsoft, he dropped out of college,
Hmm.
and he was a fanatic. He said he never took any vacations. Matter of fact, in his early years, he used to have his office right by the parking lot, so he can count and see who will stay late and who will come early.
Oh my
And he
goodness.
said he was such a just, I mean, all he'd say was awful, and he's had so many regrets
Hmm.
even though he's a billionaire right now, but
Hmm.
he says that work, play, relax. He said he was really bad at it.
Right. He regrets that he didn't do more of the playing and relaxing.
He says he regrets
Mm.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier as I was getting ready to come in here. I was like, gosh, my dad has done so many things for me. I'm so grateful for the position
Oh,
that you put me in. I'm just so
oh.
filled with gratitude. One of the things that you didn't do, you want to talk about that? One of the things that you didn't
Now I just
do.
talk about no,
No,
just
no, it's just going to tie into the wordplay
things that
thing.
I did do.
One of the things that you didn't do is overcome your seasick, your motion sickness. That's why we don't have a yacht
Yeah,
because as I was getting dressed, I was like, today is such a beautiful day to be on the water.
you're 100% right. And I've been invited to go out. People will
Ah,
come in town and say, Henderson, I'm coming from California. I'm going to rent a boat. Can we go out and talk business? I'm like, unless I want to be feeding the
oh
fish.
my gosh.
No, I
And
mean,
I was thinking, I said, this, yacht days and boating days and Sundays are important for your creativity.
if it's a yacht like a cruise ship, I mean like that, I can't feel anything. But if it's just going side to side, I'm gonna feed the fish, and that's not a good feeling. But
So,
I remember when back, I would say back
mhm,
in 1990. I
mhm,
wanted to get into boating and
yeah,
scuba
let's
diving.
revisit that.
I became I went and took courses. Me and Linda, as a matter of fact,
Hmm.
and became a certified scuba diver.
I remember the place right by. It used to be Pizza Hut in that plaza
That's right.
on Miami. Well, it
And
wasn't
I
Miami
got
Gardens Drive back
and I
then.
got
I
licensed
remember
to be a
going in there. Yep.
certified diver. I was going to go down 100 feet and explore the underworld seafood. The
Hmm.
undersea world.
Uh-huh.
And while I was getting licensed, the teacher would take us out, and the seas were always calm. And
Hmm.
after we got licensed, I said, "Hey, y'all, let's go out and go, deep diving." And every time I went out, the seas were rough, and I was feeding fish.
You
And I
know
said,
what?
"No more."
You know how the more we mature and
Yes,
grow and
yes,
change our mindset
yes.
and we age, shifting our mindset also has physiological effects as well.
Okay, I agree.
And your mindset has shifted so much since 1990
Right.
that I think that it would be prudent for you to test out your level of tolerance with going out on the water.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to put together a yacht day, a boating day.
Nothing.
we'll
we got,
call it
we
we'll
got to
call
go
it an office outing.
without us paying. You gotta let somebody else pay because I don't want to feed the fish on my dime. If you want to test it, we gotta just go get them on the boats out there, paying a dime.
Okay,
and
we
let's test
we
it.
can rent it. We'll have to pay to
I
rent
ain't
it.
paying to feed no fish or no test
You've
drive.
grown so much since 1990. You've grown so much.
Yes,
You've
I have.
shifted,
And
and
thank God.
I know that that's one of the things that has
But I
shifted
don't know
as well.
about equilibrium and I don't know about that. But I don't want to pay my
To
dime
test it.
to test whether
Okay.
I'm gonna get
So instead of
seasick.
being on the family yacht, here I am in the office, which I love, which
But
is
you know what?
not a bad
But,
place
you know,
to
we
be.
used to rent yachts all the time, and
I
we
think
used
we
to
should go
go.
back
We used to
into
do
that,
that, and
man.
it wasn't bad because we used to go intercoastal.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
We'll go
we used to go
intercoastal.
intercoastal, not out in the deep sea or whatever.
Yeah,
and that
nice
was
and
cool. We used
slow
to do it all
and
the
steady.
time.
Okay, I'll look
Yeah.
into that.
All right,
All right, June, Henderson Financial Group. Maybe we'll do client appreciation,
it has to be intercoastal.
intercoastal.
I mean,
so
like-
maybe like the top 25 clients.
I'm gonna tell you something.
LJ, you there?
Hey, listen, definitely.
LJ, you there? Oh,
definitely
there we go. We putting this together
Miss
right
Redhead
now.
definitely.
Miss
there.
Redhead too.
Okay.
Y'all got to drive
But-
down. So
but
we'll do intercoastal.
Intercoastal, good.
Yate for like 25.
You know, I'm gonna tell you because when was that? 2019. We had family reunion, and we took them
Mhm.
on the Jungle Queen. I didn't get sick on the Jungle Queen.
I didn't get on that.
That was intercoastal.
Right, I arranged
I can
that.
do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I ain't going on no deep ocean with it. I ain't getting ready to do that. You know what I mean?
Don't worry. I'll put it together. We're going to clients, write it off. Perfect. All right. So let's get into today's topic. Thank you all so much here for being here today. We appreciate it. LJ, happy Wednesday to you. Hiru, thank you for being here. That name is, and it's not, I think I know who that is. I'm not sure though. Mia the best. Thank you for being here. Mrs. Redhead and Mr. Redhead as well. Thank you so much for being here. Mrs. Redhead suggested that I go to Grenada.
Yes.
And I looked it up on the internet. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Let me go for my birthday. And in August, the tickets were $1,000.
Oh, that's all.
Normally, I would say that, right? But I was like, because I use
What do you mean?
Google
When you
Flights,
say the tickets, you mean the airline flight?
that flight. But when
Oh.
I say Google Flights, it showed me, and if I wanted to go in June, it was like $400.
Oh.
So there was a big increase. And Mrs.
Time.
Redhead said it's because of Carnival.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
So I won't be going to Grenada in August.
We'll just go in June.
I got so much to do in June.
Well, you can just go for a weekend.
You're right. And I
Right.
deserve that.
You deserve it.
Especially since you don't have a yacht.
I ain't buying y'all.
Okay, I'm teasing.
I ain't
But no,
buying
I
yacht.
may sneak away for June. We'll see. We'll see. I need to be on somebody's ocean. Natasha from your Facebook. Hey, Natasha. I love the YouTube name. Hey. All right, so let's get into it. Today we have a fabulous show lined up for you all. And it is very important. I love the Wednesday shows. I know we're talking about a yacht and being out on the ocean and stuff like that. And that is important because the work-life harmony is very, very, very important. Oftentimes when we take days off and we go on vacation or whatever the case may be, we come back charged up with creativity, with ideas and things like that. We are better people because of the time that we take off.
That's true.
And we love what we do.
Yes.
So today's conversation is so important because it's talking about you and your mindset. On
Yes.
Wednesdays, we talk about mindset and the importance of you, like you focusing on you.
Yes.
And it's so important because your relationship with your money,
Yes.
your relationship with your friends, your
Yes.
parents, your lovers, your coworkers, your relationship with anyone else is going to stem from the relationship that you have with yourself.
And it affects your money.
And it affects your money. On Saturday, did y'all talk about interest rates?
Yes, we did.
Oh, phenomenal. Did you do
Yes.
well?
Excellent.
Okay, good. Good
Good.
job. I love that. I love that so much. If you didn't catch Saturday's show, go back and watch it. Catch
Yes.
Saturday's show. But back to you and your relationship. So when we title today's segment, Change Your Life by Changing Yourself, I don't want you to be average and think, oh, womp. That sounds so cliche. Change myself, I'll change my life. We want you to really sit with that. To really and truly sit with what it means for you to be able to change your life by changing yourself. Do you know how powerful that is?
No, it's extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful. It has helped me throughout my lifetime, you know, and when you do that, you take away blame. You really do. And that's the you take, you know, why they doing this? No, you have to think about yourself. How can you be comfortable? What do you need in order to navigate and get yourself prepared for life, the future, the next day, the next year? What do you have to do? Stop worrying about what somebody else has to do because you can't control. You know, the good book tells us that you can't control no one, nothing but yourself. That's why you have choice. And that's why you have an invisible thought, because it's private. You're not thinking out loud. Someone hearing what you are seeing, what you're thinking. It's all private. So a lot of stuff is private. The most important things about your life is private, and you have to understand who you are. So there's never anything to change but yourself. How you feel, it's you. It's you. And I give you a perfect example. I remember, okay, I got a 3-car garage home, right? And I would always park my Porsche in the big garage. And then mom will park her car right next to my car. Okay. And then we'll have the little, third car, another car. But I always put my Porsche inside of the big right next to. And when mom driving, but when the kids used to get out of the car, they would open the door and just swing it open, and it would always bump the side of my Porsche door, and it would get dented. Then I get it repaired, and I kept telling them over and over and over. And it seemed like the more I told them, watch out, for doing that, I couldn't control it, and it offended me until one day I said, I'm going to do something about it. So what I did was I actually started parking my Porsche away from everybody and put it in a third garage. I never had that problem anymore. I never had to talk to them. I never had to get upset with them. I did something. I made a change, and it was beautiful. So with that right there, when I'm telling the story, I want all of you all to think of situations where things aggravated you, or you didn't like something. You can't change the outer. You can only change the inner. And when you change your inner, your outer changes. Does that sound clear?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I love it. And I love that you break it down in this way. A moment ago when you said that it's powerful because you can't blame anyone.
Right.
That is so important. Let's talk about blame for a little bit.
Yes.
First of all, I want you all to understand that when you are blaming, you're not building. Right? So there are always two sides to a coin. So imagine that there's a coin whenever you're making a decision and you're looking at a coin, and on this side, you're focusing on the blame. Who did this? Who didn't do that? Why it didn't go your way? You're blaming, blaming, blaming. How beautiful is it for you to come to the realization that you can easily, very easily shift from blaming that person or the circumstances or the environment or whatever it is you want to do, and flip the coin over and then start to build.
Yes.
And what are you building? You are building the life that you want. You are building your mindset. You are building new circumstances, new opportunities. You are building whatever it is you want to build. So think about that, because I know that a lot of times our experiences and our environment can condition us, and we don't realize that even with the conditioning, we have a choice.
Yes.
Like, yes, things are happening around us, but we can still choose what we want to pick up and what we don't pick up. So when we're giving examples, as Mr. Henderson gave a beautiful example of him taking the initiative to say, you know what, I don't have to park my car right here.
Right.
Maybe, the fact is I'm the king of this castle. I own this house. I pay every bill in this house. I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to move my car. But the fact is, you don't want your car to be hit.
And I can't, and me, it wasn't working that I was trying to change another individual mindset.
And instead of staying there and blaming who chipped the paint, who did this, did, who's responsible for this, did, you said, you know what, let me build a way out of this. Let me just move my car, just the same driveway, same house. Let me move my car to this garage, just use this garage opener, and now I can slide in there. So I want you to use this illustration and to think about something that you may be experiencing right now in your life.
Yes.
There is something that you are experiencing, something that is going on in your life, and you are focusing on the blame. You're looking at the blame side of the coin. And so tying into today's topic, if you want to change your life, if you want to change your life and have different circumstances, you have to make the decision to say, you know what, I'm not going to blame the governor. I'm not going to blame my employer. I'm not going to blame my baby daddy. I'm not going to blame my friends. I'm not going to blame all of these people. I am going to flip this coin over and see how I can build, because as the illustration that Mr. Henderson gave you, all it takes is a small shift. He didn't have to go out and buy a new house to park his Porsche at.
That's right. And I didn't have to continue to fuss at them and get upset with them.
Yeah, you didn't have to DDT nobody. Like nobody didn't have to get the smackdown. It's just like, it's a small shift. So in what areas of your life can you make a small shift so that you can start building a different result. You can come up out of blame land and then start building a different result. And here's the thing, when you change, people will take notice, like, oh, you moved you parking over there now.
Right. And it doesn't bother anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy, and I want you all to find yourself or find a situation. Look at this. Here's a guy that earns $500 a week
Mm-hmm.
from his employer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good worker, and he earns $500 a week. Although he earns $500 a week working, he really needs $700. He needs $200 more
Mm-hmm.
because the $500 he's consuming, and he needs extra money to save. If he says that if he can make $700 a week, he'll be that much happy. But he likes his job, and right now the job said they're only paying $500 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what can he has choices. Remember, I said there's never anything or nobody to change but yourself. Okay, so this guy, he can take it two ways. He can go and keep hammering on to his employer, telling them he can make himself upset. He can say he don't like this job. He can all kind of things. He actually likes the job, but he don't like what it pays. He finds joy in the job, but he don't like what it pays. So now he's starting to get grudge toward the job because they won't take their money and pay him more. So he's upset with the people and all that. There's never anyone to change but yourself. In this situation, know what he could do? He can keep his $500 a week job. Since he needs $200 more, guess what he can do? He can actually go and work on the weekends or get a part-time job and bam, make that $200.
Difference, yeah.
And not even care about his employer, not be upset about his employer, still be smiling. But since he has 24 hours in the day, he can take charge. You can't boss somebody else and make somebody else do what you want to do. Remember, there's never anybody to change but yourself. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love it. I love it because as I'm listening to you speak about the employee who is complaining about the employer, I was thinking, wow, he is putting himself, not they, he's putting himself in such a disempowering situation.
Oh, yes.
You're standing, you're looking at the coin and saying, I am disempowered because they won't pay me more. They know I need an extra $200, whatever the case may be. Like, you are plopping yourself in the seat of being disempowered
And feeling
bad and feeling like the victim.
Yes.
You're choosing to victimize
Now
yourself.
your work is starting to affect your work.
When you can easily say, I don't want to be disempowered. I want to feel empowered.
Right.
And so that's another one, right? So thinking from how do I shift from blaming to building, assessing situations in your everyday life, because we understand as you're listening to us, it's like, yeah, Mr. Henderson and Hyacinth, I'm picking up what you're putting down and it makes sense. But when you get out into the real world, right, you may find yourself like, oh, shoot, what did they say? Can I run the tape back? Here's a simple thing for you to review. Do I feel disempowered right now or do I feel empowered? Simple assessment. And if you find yourself at the space of, I feel disempowered right now, then you know that all you need to do, and I'm saying it just like that, all you need to do is move to the space of you feeling empowered. What does that take for you to feel empowered? What happens? Those of you with children, parents, oh my gosh, parenting prepares you for the real world.
Yes.
Like, if you can be a parent, not a breeder, there's a difference, because there are people who just have the babies, dress them up, and that's it. But if you really lean into your role of parenting, it will show you some stuff about you and it will empower you. It will teach you some valuable lessons that will help you not only with your children, but in life as well. So parenting is one of those things where you have to often assess the situation, because maybe little Johnny and Tito they aren't doing what you want them to do. And you can't beat them, especially in this day and age. Like, they go to school, my daddy beat me, po at the door, right? It's just like that, right? So you have to find yourself like, okay, what am I doing? They aren't listening. I keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Am I feeling disempowered? If I'm feeling disempowered, what can I do to empower myself to be able to change the situation so that I have a different result? And a lot of times, what parenting requires you to do is to look at yourself, get some new skills, and figure out how you can parent in a different way. And it's not really just parenting, parent, child, how you can relate to people in a different way.
It's always about you. If you think
Yeah.
there's not one situation in life
Mm-hmm.
where you don't change yourself, improvements happen.
Just do you want to be empowered?
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
even about your diet, you know what I mean? Even
Mhm.
about your health, what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
There's never anything to change. And I want you all to think about this. It seems so simple, but yet it's so hard because when you have a habit of not focusing on what we're saying about it's all about you, then you miss the mark.
Yeah.
You missed it, and it's you had it all along. It's been
Mhm.
there, and you have the answers all along. There's never anybody to change. There's never, even if you find yourself with a loved one and you love them so much and they're dogging you out and you feel so bad and you want to blame them. There again, there's never nobody to change but you. You can't change the person. You got to change how you feel about the person. You got to change. You got to say yourself. You got to say, why do I feel weak toward this person? What does this person give me? Whatever, you know, what am I lacking? You always got to look, because it's always something. The power really is within you. You know, every time I made more money, I had to do some changes.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Every time, if I want more money, I have to do some changes within me that's going to produce, and the effect's going to be more money.
Mm-hmm.
Here is a baseball player. He wants more money, a bigger contract. Well, he got to hit more baseballs, more home runs. When he does that, when he makes the changes, bam, they give him a bigger contract. Think about it. There's never, from your weight to your earnings to everything about your life. Think about it. If you're driving a car, you says, okay, I want this car to go faster. I need to get there quicker. You can say all you want to until you press the gas and give it more until you go faster. There's never anything to change. So if you start blaming, looking around, they doing this and they doing that. No, man, you can't control them. You can talk all you want to. It's like these people who are conspiracy theorists. They send me all kind of Instagrams. Robert, we doing. I don't get caught up in that, because I can't do anything about that. The sky is falling. I can't do anything about that. All I have to do is worry about or focus on what I can do to help improve my life. That's all you have to do. And if you do that, you've done enough. I'm telling you, if you do that, you do enough. And think about the example I gave about the guy that needs $700 and his job says he needs $500. You know, there's so many people that when they're underpaid, wait, let me tell you something. Listen very carefully what I'm about to say. Anytime you feel that you are underpaid, just the thought that comes to your mind that you are underpaid, that's really a gift from the universe telling you and nudging you
To do more.
to do more. Okay, listen, don't let that go by too fast. Don't let it go in one ear. Anytime you feel that you are underpaid and you don't have enough, when you think it, because some people are underpaid and they don't have enough, and they just still walking around like Bobo the Clown, like, fool, don't you see you don't have enough? You know, you keep swiping the card, but ain't no money there. You know you need more money. Then that means you have to do something else. I am absolutely floored about so many people that working at a McDonald's, or and they're grown, but they need to be working, having more money, that they won't get a second job or a third job or take up something or do something. It's about you. It's about you, me, myself, and I. You always got to think about how you can make the changes. You got to focus.
This goes into your comments. Your recent comments are in alignment with the post that I made. I think it was last Wednesday, because I was going to suggest that we make it the topic of today's show, but I know sometimes you don't want to be too radical. And the post was being broke is a choice. Being poor is a choice.
Yes.
Being poor is a choice.
It really is. Indirectly, it's a choice. Subconsciously, it's a choice.
Indirectly.
Well, it ends up being direct. It shows up.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Most
You
people
choose.
don't think-
If you're poor right now, it's a choice.
Well, most people don't think so.
But that's why we're here,
Yes.
right? That's why we're here, right? So, because you bring up some valid points about people who are, they realize they don't have enough. And you are absolutely right in your realization that you don't have enough and they're paying you XYZ dollars and minimum wage should be this or whatever. You are absolutely right in your realization. But as Mr. Henderson said, there are some people who don't even realize that. They're content with that. Those people, that's what they're supposed to be.
That's it.
As soon as you have that realization that you don't have enough and you should be, I should be making more, I should have more, I should this. As soon as you have that realization, you then have a choice.
You got it.
You have a choice because the realization comes from the infinite source that says, ding dong, what are you doing?
It wakes you up.
It's knocking. And so when you recognize that, it is the equivalent of you hearing the knock at the door and then hollering and screaming at your neighbor talking about why you don't get the door. Hold on, they knocking at your house. You are out the window, you calling your neighbor, why you don't get the door? They knocking at the door. They not like, why you ain't let the people, sir, they at your door.
It's amazing how you say that because you always do get indications, don't you?
You get
It's like when
indications.
you get in those jeans and you can't button them no more. You get indications.
Right,
Like, okay.
right.
And you go buy a bigger size.
Instead of saying, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
So when you have that indication, it's like, oh, wait, hold on. Let's go back.
But you ignore it.
Change your life by changing yourself. There's an indication. There is a knock at the door that's telling me, girl, you ain't making enough. That's telling me, girl, you ain't a size 4 no more. You can't get in these. What you gonna do?
Go buy a bigger size.
Right. But then, so here's the thing: when you're used to complaining, you'll go buy a bigger size, and guess what you'll do? Complain about the price. Oh man, I remember back in my days, jeans was $2.99. Now they $54. Okay, well, why you gotta buy new jeans? let's go back to this. So when I say that being poor is a choice and being broke is a choice,
a lot of people disagree with you when you say that.
I love that. I love that because that tells me that I am not amongst the 85% of the population that operate at a low level of consciousness. I want them to disagree with me, but I also want them to realize when they are sitting there doing some things that aren't making them any money or advancing them so that they can advance their coins, they need to ask themselves, am I choosing to do this? Am I choosing to Netflix and chill? Am I choosing not to study? Am I choosing to continue to work here and complain? Am I choosing? Because you always have a choice.
Yes.
The creator is so beautiful that we were gifted the gift of choice. You always have a choice. You can choose to complain. You can choose to be poor, or you can choose to be wealthy. You can choose to be, abundant. You can choose whatever it is. We were talking about earlier in the show, me saying, oh, and Mr. Henderson's like, go to Grenada. Like, just go, just take a weekend. And I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I got stuff to do. He's like, yeah, you can go.
On the weekend.
Just go. And I'm like, yeah, I could. Like, I have that choice, right? And I know that I have that choice. What I'm choosing to do is still to work and focus on some of the things that I have on my plate instead of choosing to be laid out on the beach.
You probably can still do it. You probably can go to Grenada and still take time out on your laptop and do what you have to do.
Do you realize I work 7 days a week?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Do you realize that?
Yeah, sure.
You
7
don't think
days.
so?
Yeah. Yeah, we all work 7 days a week. I do.
Right. So,
but I still have time to ride my bike.
And it's a choice.
Yes.
Right. It's a choice. When I get up and I go to Pilates or I go to spin, it is a choice. I can choose to lay in. I can choose not. Like, I could choose to lay in and then complain about I'm not summertime fine or my joints are hurting or whatever the case may be. So back to the topic, we're sharing these real life examples because we really want you to know that you literally have the choice. You can change your life by the choices that you make. I want to go back to something you said, because it really is all about you. You said that a moment ago. And when you said that, I thought to myself, so much of our conditioning is filled with people saying, it's not all about you. It ain't all about you. The world doesn't revolve around you. It ain't all about you. And then when you really get down and think about it, it is.
It is how you feel and everything, because
it is.
It really is how you feel.
Yeah, it is. So now that, so some of us need to free ourselves and release ourselves from that conditioning that says it's not all about me. No, it is all about you. Because if it's not about you, then who else is it going to be about? If you don't take a stand for yourself, if you don't focus on yourself, if you don't choose you, who's going to do it for you? I got news for you. Society is not going to do it for you. So there's another thing for you to think about. We gave you shifting from blaming to building. We gave you assessing on how, if you feel empowered or disempowered. And now I'm going to give you another one. And that's to think about, is this all about me? It's all about me. How does this work for me? What am I doing for me? Right? And not in a selfish way, but it is a selfish way. So let me retract that. In a selfish way, but in an intentional way. So not in a deceptive way, not in a lying way, not in a conniving way. You can be selfish and you can be focused on yourself and still have integrity. So it is a very selfish thing to do, but still have integrity while you're doing it, while you're assessing how does this benefit me not only today, but in the long run.
Well, see, when you're doing that,
Mm-hmm.
so it won't consider you won't consider it being selfish or being,
Mm-hmm.
conceited or all
Mm-hmm.
about you or you think you're all that. Is when you just shed the word blame. You can't
Mm-hmm.
blame anyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you whatever you want to do and whatever you want to accomplish, if you say that we're gonna play this game or this game of life where you can't blame anyone else, you have to do it and make it happen for yourself. Whether you have to call the Henderson Financial Group because we've been around for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many people that said they've never even heard of us.
I know.
We get new clients all the time, and they said someone told
Mm-hmm.
them about us, and they never knew we was on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shortage of black certified financial planners. There's a
Mm-hmm.
shortage of black financial advisors in the country. It's less than 1%.
Mm-hmm.
It's less than half of 1%. And a lot of people want to relate to someone that looks like them. And there are people who don't care what you look like. They just want to be able to relate to someone who can relate to them. There's not a whole lot of people like that's available to help you. So, and a lot of people don't really know. So when we're on here talking like this, we want you to share and let other people, because there's a lot of people that are hurting. There's a lot of people that don't know simple things. They just don't know. No one's never ever told them. And a lot of them they don't think that you can get it. They don't think that you can get a personal financial planner or advisor, someone to help them. Most people think that they're on their own, so they have to listen to the TV or do what everybody else around them doing, and that's the teacher. They don't know they can have private coaching, consultations. They don't know that, and they think that it costs so much more money, much more money, but they don't know that either. But as we talked about, that we always talk about the importance of relationships, being able to run things, roll up your sleeve and run things by people who this is all what they do. I mean, we do this. We don't have a catering company on the side. We don't have a car wash business on the side. You know what I mean? I mean, we don't run a trucking business on the side. We don't we don't do all that stuff and have a karate class that we teach. We don't do that. We do this. We have 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. This is what we do. We constantly finding out about things that you don't even know that's on the planet. So to have a relationship with us, I think that's spot on, man. Most of y'all don't have a relationship with your banker. At least if you have a relationship with us, we have a relationship with bankers. We have a relationship with attorneys. We know how to set up corporate structures, whether it's LLC, S corps or whatever.
Trust.
About trust, retirement planning. So you call us, and you see we down to earth. We're not all stuck up. We're down to earth, and most people who call us know that we're just like your cousins.
Yeah, and it's important. It's important. I'm glad that you brought the fact that Black financial advisors and Black people in the money space is important, and having someone that can relate to you is very important, because when it comes to developing a plan, you need someone who understands your experience, right? You have to have someone who has understanding of your experience as a Black person in America. It's a very different experience, right? So sometimes you can communicate with people who aren't Black and they still understand the Black experience in America. That may work for you. But if you're dealing with someone who cannot understand that, and then they start talking to you about what you ought to be doing and what you should be doing without understanding and without empathizing the Black experience in America, you're going to find yourself setting stuff up and it's just not working for you.
Right.
So it reminds me of a call that I had. I think it was earlier this week, maybe last week. The days just run together these days. But it was a call with a lady. She is preparing for retirement. She was actually at a crossroads asking, should she retire? Should she not retire? She had some personal things. She needed to be the caregiver for her mom, which, being a caregiver, Lord, that is something that enough of us don't plan for and we don't talk about. We should really do a show about that. You want to do it on your Saturday show? The need for long-term care and preparing. It wasn't until recent years, like over 40, maybe like, yeah, 40. I'm 41. I'll be 42 this year. Can you believe that?
Yeah, in 2 months.
Three,
3 months.
3 months. But it wasn't until like maybe 39 or 40 that I started realizing what aging meant for the elderly and the importance and the need of the senior centers and stuff like that. Because like once you retire, what you doing?
Man,
Right.
it's 6.7 million people right now in America with dementia.
And then I was gonna go into that. And then for the people who are aging and are having different ailments and illnesses, dementia, Alzheimer's, and even if you don't know someone who has dementia or Alzheimer's, just the fact that that person may be 80 years old and they may need assistance with the grocery store. They may need assistance with cleaning the house. We send a cleaning lady to my grandmother's house because she's 85 years old. Like, and I'm thinking about like, right, who is going to get down here and mop your floor?
Yeah.
Like you need people to come over here and do this. Where I was going with that is the need for you to plan for that stage of your life. And that's often overlooked. We often overlook that because we're just thinking about the now, but that is a very real reality as we are all excited about growing older and maturing and wanting more responsibility. I don't know if everybody's excited about that. I am.
Yeah, I'll be
But
65.
that's something that we have to plan for. And enough people don't.
Yes.
Enough people don't plan for that and don't take that into account. And it just you end up at this space where that's where I was going with this. This woman called me. She needed to be the caregiver for her mother, and she's over 60 as well. And she has an account, 401k from her employer, and she's like, she wants to invest it. How can we invest it? She has $9,600 in this account. And she wants to know how we can invest it. And she was like, oh, what's an IRA? Someone was telling me I need to roll it over into an IRA and and all these things like that. And I had a very educational conversation with her. And she had her daughter on her phone, and her daughter thanked me so much. And oh my gosh, we appreciate this. I said, let me tell you something. I said, you are going to hear people. I said, I'm not going to take your account. First of all, based on your situation, we're not going to take your account. It just doesn't make any sense for us to do that. However, when you get off this phone with me, you're going to hear other people who say, oh yeah, just roll it over into an IRA. Oh yeah, just do this or do that with it. And you can absolutely do those things. But looking at your personal situation, you have to ask yourself, is that the best advice for you? So I broke down what happens if she takes the withdrawal with the taxes and 20% taxes plus. And then if she rolls it over, and then when we're going to roll it over, we're going to invest it in stocks or ETFs or things like that. So I broke all that down to her. And she was like, wow, thank you so much. You're right. Because I have heard people telling me to put it in an IRA. I have heard people telling me to do this and this. And I said, but they don't understand your current circumstance. They just see that you're leaving work, you have a 401k, and the books will tell you, oh, if a employee, if a retiree is leaving their work, they can either take the full distribution and pay the taxes on it, option A, or they can roll it over into an IRA, an individual retirement account.
$9,000.
So the book would say, do that. So it would just be, you're going to take the money now or you're going to do this. And so I said, but we're not going by the book. We're going by you and your experience, your situation. So back to Mr. Henderson's point of you needing someone who can relate to you and understand you and connect with you. It's very, very important. Now, with all that being said, since there are so many people for us to service and we love what we do, we aren't going to beg you. So what that means is we may share strategies and tips and advice with you that may not be things that are being talked about on Instagram or Facebook. Because nowadays I'm getting calls, well, I heard this on Instagram. I really want to say get off my phone, but I don't, right? Like, let's not talk about Instagram. I'm telling you about what I eat, sleep, and breathe, right? So understand that when you come here, there are going to be strategies and systems and things like that that we tell you that is not table topic conversation at the family reunion. And then you're going to have a choice. Back to the topic, change your life by changing yourself. You will have the choice to say, you know what, I've never heard anyone talk about this, but I'm going to change the way I'm thinking. I'm going to choose to change the way I'm thinking and listen to the guidance and advice you all are giving me. And I know that because of your track record, because of what you are experiencing, and you are the subject matter expertise, I have the opportunity to change my life by changing myself and making a new choice. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Y'all have to get that.
You know, when you're just saying about Instagram, how you get, I got, in the last 24 hours, I got to say this. I got two people, and these two people don't even know each other. One is a conspiracy theorist.
Hmm.
You know, he says that all of our leaders are reptilian.
Reptilian.
Yeah,
Mhm.
reptilian. Okay.
Could be some truth to that.
Okay. So he said all of them are. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, what do we do about it?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, so this guy sent me an Instagram and it's a video going around, it's like 14, 15 minutes. And it says how, you know, in the next, I don't know, 30 days or whatever, how the US dollar is not going to be anymore.
Mhm.
It's going to be, you know, currency. We're
Mhm.
talking about the Fed now,
Mhm.
which we knew about a while back. Okay.
Mhm.
And how it's scaring the hell out of everybody. And they're going to control you and this money. All to lead up to he is the savior. And here is a stock that's $10 a share. And it's put money in gold. And here's the symbol. Here, in other words, all this doom and gloom.
And here's the solution, and I'm
And
giving
here's
it
the
to you on
solution.
Instagram.
And here's the solution.
Mhm.
It's a $10 stock. It's going up. You need to put your money in gold. Gold. So that I read that and I said, oh, so this is the catch. And then this morning I got one
Mhm.
from another guy. He said, Rob, we need to talk about this. The same
Mhm.
video, how the world and they doing this in China and this and that, and this, and you better be scared. Whoa, and they're coming. And you can say by buying this stock and put all your money in gold, and gold is this, and you can be rich. And then within the video, it's saying how the billionaires are going to be taking your money and, you know, doing all this. But then he's trying to tell you how to become a billionaire by buying this gold. You know,
Mhm.
it's just fear. You know, I've been hearing this kind of stuff like this for the last 40 years. We still here.
Yeah, it's so interesting because when you said that, whenever you talk about these people who send you all this stuff and they're like doom and gloom, the first thing that comes to mind is that they don't read. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Wait,
And
listen, they hear a lot of
well,
chat.
when I say they don't read, is they don't read like books of
Important stuff.
substance, like some of the ancient texts and books from the 1900s or even the 90s, even the 2000s. They don't read because if you are reading material of substance, I'm not talking about like, you know, Uchi Kuchi La La. I don't know what kind of books people read, but not those books. If you are reading books of substance, you will almost always hear them talk about during these troubling times with the way that the stock market is going, with the way that the job market is going. And so as I started connecting the dots, I'm like, oh, they said this in the 1900s.
Marvin
They said
Gaye.
this in 2000.
Marvin Gaye,
They
mercy,
said, what's
mercy,
going on?
What's going on?
Like they've been saying this the
Yeah.
entire time.
Police brutality, can't pay the rent, inflation, things skyrocketing.
And we still here.
Yeah.
And so the
1960s.
yeah. And so the difference is going to be your perspective. Like things are always changing. The world is ending right now for somebody. It is ending.
For a lot of people this morning,
It is
they woke up dead.
right. It's ending. The world is ending right now for someone. Could you believe that right now there is someone who is living in a house and does not have running water? Right now in 2023, but you don't believe that that is possible because that's not your present reality. It's not something that you can see. And I'm sharing that because you have to be careful with allowing people to bring in fear into your reality. And then you ride out with it and then you start spreading that fear. Now, do I believe that there are going to be some changes to the economic system and with currencies and things like that? Yes, 1000%. I believe that for years. I've been reading up on it for years. It excites me, but it's not from a place of, oh my gosh, put all your money under your mattress. It is not from a place of put all your money in gold or do all this, because you have to understand that this kind of stuff has been happening for years because it's how the world evolves. It's how we change. It's how things evolve. If we don't have these periods of massive change and restructuring and shifts and things like that, we would still be stuck in the Stone Ages.
Yeah, think about Taco Bell.
You love to say that about Taco Bell. You love to say that. So read more. Read
They
more and
always
you'll be like,
changing their
they've been
menu.
saying this. I remember I was in high school. I used to love some Taco Bell. You can't pay me to eat Taco Bell right now.
Yeah, see, you change. See,
I used
but
to
Burger King
love
always
Taco Bell.
making change. Oh my God, they get ready to change Burger King menu.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But you know, like you said, high school, you know, growth and change. I mean, at one time, oh my God, the horse and buggy and carriage, you know, horseshoe, the blacksmith, the job is going to be gone forever. Oh my God, they got cars. They got vehicles. Oh my God, they got airplanes. You know, oh my God, you know what the world's coming to. We got. Come on, I mean, that's what growth and development is. I mean, you'll still be here. I'm gonna still be here. I don't worry about all that doom and gloom and stuff. I worry about what I can control about. I don't even worry about that. I'm too busy trying to looking. I'm like an observer. I'm looking at this stuff, learning how to best myself. Remember, there's nothing and there's nobody to change but yourself, your beliefs, your ideas, how you feel.
Oh my God, changing your beliefs will change your life.
Yes.
That's a big one. What do you say? We are in the belief changing business.
That's exactly what the Henderson Financial Group, when you want to think about the Henderson Financial Group, think that Henderson Financial Group is a financial planning service business, but we are in the belief changing business. Yeah. If you still want to believe in beepers, we're not the people for you. Beepers are gone. Okay, we're in the smartphone, and guess what? We're getting ready to go from the smartphone to the super smartphones and the gadgets. So we're in the changing beliefs system to change, so you can grow and expand. Because you cannot expand without changing. You can't grow without changing. Do you want to grow? Do you want more? Well, you gotta change. It can't stay the same. Come on.
And changing your beliefs is so important, because a lot of times what happens is people will be given, most people are given beliefs. They didn't even create their own beliefs. They're given beliefs by their parents, their churches, leaders, the government. They're told what to believe in, right? So once you identify that, hold on, is this belief even mine? Did I even choose to believe this? But then when you go through that process and you say, I'm going to break free of this belief, I'm going to choose to believe something else,
change yourself,
choose something different, and then you see the changes that happen, it should prompt you to say, you know what? I can consistently change my beliefs. So going back to Mr. Henderson's associates that share all these doom and gloom, fear-mongering conspiracy videos with him, I don't know why they do that. What, you want me to block them?
No,
I know he's gonna say no.
No, it's interesting.
It's Mr. Nice Guy.
Because I don't want to muffle anyone. I'm interested to see all the different flowers, different colors, different shades.
Observing, right? It's a social experiment. Like, wow, you too, right?
Yeah. I really do. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh. So what I was gonna say is, the people who are sharing this, or if you run across something like this, it will serve you better to look at the information. I'm not asking you to bury your head in the sand. Who does that? The ostrich?
Yes.
Like the ostrich. I'm not asking you to bury your head in the sand and say, this is never going to happen. It's impossible. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm also not asking you to jump on the fear-mongering bandwagon and say, oh my gosh, we're all going to die right now. We're not going to have any money. I'm not asking you to do that either. What I am asking you to do is to say, what is this? Let me look at this coin. Hyacinth said there are two sides to every coin. Are they using terms that I did not know before I saw this video, before this conversation? Are they mentioning something that I wasn't aware of? Then do yourself a favor. Hit up Amazon.com or Audible.com. If you are a reader, you could be a listener, and put in the topic that they you heard in that fear-mongering video, and see what types of books are out there, so that you can then educate yourself. Yeah, you got to be a reader, a seeker. Research. If you're not a reader, if Amazon and Audible aren't your things, go to YouTube. But you can only go to YouTube, and you can only seek information from a space of being an observer and being objective.
Science if you of being great.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that in a while. I haven't listened to the Science of Being Great in 2023 for sure.
No, you should. You got to go. I
will go back to it. I always listen to the Science of Getting Rich, but Science of Being Great, I think I listened to it last year in 2022.
It's very good, and it's the science of being great. And the basic premises is there's nothing and nobody to change but yourself.
But yourself, yeah.
It's all starts with me, myself, and I. If you're looking for answers, then you have to be the one to make that change.
111, make a wish.
Yeah, you 111. You have to, because you have to say, okay, I want something different out of life, and then you have to seek, and I promise you, you will seek. When you seek, you will find. It's impossible to seek and not find. You knock and the door will be open. It really, really is. Depends on what you are seeking and what you're trying to find. What are you asking? And you always want to say, how do I have enough money to retire with? what rate of return do I need to be getting in order to make sure my money grows and keeps pace
Inflation.
with inflation? You
Oh,
know,
here's a good one. How much do I need to be saving or investing on a monthly or annual basis
that's right.
to make sure that when
Maintain.
I retire,
Right.
I don't have to start eating beanies and Wheaties?
That's right. Those are the
That's a
kind of
big one.
things that you want to
Mhm.
ask yourself.
Yeah.
Do I have enough? And what am I
Mhm.
doing now? Is it going to be sufficient enough
Mhm.
to carry me through all these changing world?
Mhm.
That's what you want. Are you spending future dollars currently? You
Mhm.
know, all your future dollars that should be working. In other words, it's like you have seeds that we should be planting. There's some seeds you eat right now. You know, right
Mhm.
now it's time that you eat right now. Just like a squirrel. You know, a squirrel gathers the nuts, you know, i.e. money. But the squirrel eats right now. But the squirrel always plant and leave some for the future, for the winter time, i.e. retirement, slowing down. So you always should be doing, you know, two different things: one for now, one for later, one for now.
Mhm.
And the problem is, so many people just think about now, and
Mhm.
tomorrow is later, and you don't have anything.
They're thieves.
Yeah.
They're thieves. So a lot of you listening are thieves.
What do you mean by
They're
that?
just robbers, thieves.
Of
All
themselves.
you
You mean.
missing, all you're missing is the mask.
Okay, but you're
Like
thieves
you
of
a thief,
yourself. You're
right? But
robbing from
you
yourself.
gotta let that hit and like let it just like she called
But
me a thief.
a thief, but a thief from yourself or someone else. You're thieving from
Which one?
yourself.
Which one is worse?
Yourself.
Robbing from yourself.
Yes.
Thieving. So most of you are thieves. Most people, 85% of the population are thieves.
Yes.
And they rob their future selves.
Yes, they do.
And don't even realize it. Don't even
Right.
realize it. Like, wait a minute. Like, them $1,200 shoes. I'm looking. They emailed me. Don't you want these? I do, but I don't want to rob my future
Because
self.
you want current gratification, and
Right.
in future that $1,200 could have grown to
Correct.
$2,400.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you don't see that.
And so a lot of
because you're
times
short
people
and
don't
side.
make that decision. They're just robbing themselves. You rob yourself all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. Maybe even on Saturday when you don't got to go to work. And when you could be out in these streets, oh my gosh, you are robbing yourself left and right. You are robbing your future self
Well, no one
because
ever
you
told
are
them like
refusing. That's why we're here.
that. Yeah, but no one never made them look at it like that.
That's why we know this is going to resonate.
Yeah.
You literally, could you imagine? Start thinking about this every time you go out. And there are times when, listen, are you either investing or are you spending? We'll get into that a different day. But ask yourself, I keep swiping this card, tapping this phone, PayPaling this. How much did you rob your future self today? You know what? It's the middle of the month. It's the 17th. Look at your bank statement, look at your credit cards, and ask yourself, how much have you robbed your future self so far this month?
Yes.
What does that mean? Because if you didn't put money into your investments, into your savings, and you bought the shoes, the purse, the bag, all those things,
Current lifestyle.
because you cannot control your current lifestyle expenses, your current lifestyle desires. You are robbing yourself from your future lifestyle requirements.
Yes.
Your future self is going to have requirements, and your future self is going to look at you like, I'm the future self. Let me say this is what you was doing. What do you mean? You had all them bags and you kept going out?
No, you did it.
You just kept going to happy hour?
You did it because you had a choice, and you chose to use your future dollars now in the current life and current lifestyle.
But how does that conversation look? Like, if you're, why don't you be present self and I'm future self? What do you say to me when I'm like, this what we got?
I say present self. I said, you need
future self. You tell me.
Future self. The future is coming and coming fast. Time is really flying. And if you keep living just for your present self, you're going to be empty for your future self, and you're going to be in a bad shape.
And my future self, if I get to the future and I don't have enough, and now I got to go back to work, I'm going to be looking at the present stuff. I'm going to be like, let me holler at you right quick. Come here. What were you doing?
And some people say, well, it might not be no future self. If it's not a future self, then good.
Right.
You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't worry about nothing. That's your least of your worries.
So are you a thief?
The worry is if you do stay alive. That's the worry. You know what I mean? If you plan on dying, you're good. But if you ain't planning on dying, you're trying to live, or you could be in trouble if you're robbing your coins from your future self, or you're not planting seeds. Buying real estate, investing in life insurance strategies that is going to give you tax-free retirement, getting great annuities that that's going to be there. You got a 10-year annuity. At least 10 years, you're gonna have even more money. That's a good feeling because you know 10 years gonna fly by.
And your future self will need some money.
And it's gonna be right there waiting for you, guaranteed.
And your future self, I can guarantee you, isn't going to say, I know you worked 30 years, 40 years, you were such a good employee, or maybe self-employed, because y'all self-employed people be blowing that money fast too, BMF, right? So your future self isn't going to say, oh my gosh, you were such a great entrepreneur, you were such a good employee, and now I am eating beans and Wheaties. Now I can't even afford to take a trip. I can't even afford to live where I want to live. I can't afford to live how I want to live because my old self, my past self was having such a good time. Your future self is going to be looking at you like, what is going on? So you think about that. Have that conversation with yourself.
This guy called me. He don't have 2 nickels to call it a dime. He told me he just came back from Dubai. And he loved Dubai. He said he wouldn't want to live there, but he loved Dubai. He ain't got 2 nickels to call it a dime.
People don't call him like, what you doing in Dubai, bro?
He wanted me to know that he traveled to Dubai. And I never been in Dubai because I don't care to go to Dubai. I I'm a beautiful place. I like to travel, but I haven't gotten there yet. You know what I mean? I don't not a desire to go there right now, But his guy he don't have 2 nickels to call it a dime. And he wanted to say, hey, Mr. Henderson, you ain't the only one to travel. I just came back from Dubai. But you just robbed your future self too. Whatever money you took, I know you did.
Oh my gosh, how was Dubai? It was great. Oh my gosh, did you go to the this and that? By the way, how's your portfolio doing?
No, he didn't have a portfolio.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So really quickly before we go. So for the people who are like, you know what, Mr. Henderson and Hyacinth, I'm picking up what you're putting down and I don't want to rob my future self, but maybe just maybe my future self won't be around for a long period of time. Fine. It is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And something very important, especially for our people, it will not hurt you to leave a legacy to the people that are coming behind you. Your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, give them a head start. Like, you know what? I was such a great saver and investor that I have all of this. I have these insurance policies, and sure, I may be, taking some of the cash value out. And when I transition, when I'm not on this plane anymore, I am going to give the generation behind me a head start. And I'm not going to say, well, you know what? They got to get it from the mud like I got it from the mud. Right. So that's something to think about, like really, really think about that. But what do we say? We're in the belief changing business. So that's going to require you to change your beliefs. And a common belief for us is everybody got to start from zero. You got to get it from the mud. I didn't have no handout. I'm not change that belief. And that you changing that belief will empower you to do better for yourself and be okay if there's some extra left over for others.
And plus, if you had to get it from the dirt and the mud or whatever you want to call it, and it was so hard for you, why would you want that same pain and experience to come to your loved ones?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. I mean, I grew up, I'm a single mother. My father was a drunk. I mean, he left me $1,100 Globe Life when he died in 2011. I wasn't looking for nothing from him. But I had first generation wealth. Why would I want to just say I'm gonna spend it all and have my children and grandkids start and get it from the dirt also? The poor are getting poor and the rich are getting richer. So I need to be able to help my future generations right along with myself to give them a better start. And that's how it starts,
We gave them a lot of stuff to think about today.
Yeah.
Are you blaming? Are you building? Are you being disempowered or empowered? Nobody to change but yourself. Are you a thief? When you gonna stop being a thief? What do you mean I'm a thief? I didn't know I was a thief. You robbing your future self, right? Yeah. So think all of these things should resonate deeply with you long after you watch this video. One of the big ones that we want you to think about is, what beliefs do I need to change? What beliefs do I need to now change and let go of so that I can create new beliefs? I can change my beliefs and then change myself and then change my life.
And if you're at least 30 years old by now, you should realize how fast time passes. If you're 40 years old, you should realize, man, how when you was 30 and now you're 40, that went by fast.
Listen.
And how much time and you wish you coulda, woulda, shoulda planted some seeds. So if you're 40 years old, you got to know that 50 gonna be here before you know it. And if you did not become creative and change and plant some seeds, it's gonna be 50. And then when you're 50, it's gonna be 60, and 60 is gonna be 70. And if you're 70, I'm telling you, 80 is coming by. And it's a good chance if you're 70, you're gonna make 90. I'm telling you. And if you ain't planting no seeds, you're gonna wind up with nothing. And that's the worst. It's got to be the worst feeling to be old and broke and black in America.
Right.
In America, I'm telling you,
we
man.
see it, and it really is disheartening because I'm like, I'll be like, well, what I'm gonna say? Like, where are we gonna get the money from? Like, you're at this age, you're retiring. I wish there was a place, but you don't want to work no more.
And we have a two-party government that one of them is constantly putting pressure on social benefits and government supporting like welfare and Medicaid and all that. You know, you got a whole political party that wants to end that. So while you thinking like, hey, it's America, I mean, it's a whole lot of people that don't want people to even come in America no more. You know, whole immigration thing, and you talking about, hey, the government gonna help you. There's a whole army of people that's wanting the government to stop helping you now.
Right now. And think about that. Think about your loved ones. Think about yourself. So when I say think about your loved ones, think about the people who are on Social Security and receiving Social Security benefits. How would their life change? Just do the math. Just look at it like we're not saying it's happening or it happened. Who knows what they're doing up there in y'all White House. But just look at their numbers. Sit down with the elders of your family and say, I know that a part of your income, you aren't working anymore, it comes from Social Security. If you did not receive this, let's not go too drastic. If your Social Security took a 20% cut, if your Social Security benefits were cut by 20%, what does that equate to on a dollar a monthly basis as a dollar amount? Look at that. Look at your family and friends, or maybe even yourself who are on public assistance, things like
welfare,
Section 8, food stamps.
What if you wasn't getting Section 8? What if they just stopped that?
One of my Section 8 tenants, bless her heart, she asked me to borrow $800.
Oh, the government paying you to house her, and she asked you, she don't have a job?
No. And she's always late on her rent. She was late on her rent then.
What do you mean, the part that the government don't pay?
Correct. The part that the government doesn't pay.
$100 or something?
It's two something. She's always late on her, and she asked me to borrow $800. And now, to be fair, I had loaned her or $40 before.
Oh,
you know, things like that. For the behind on the rent, please. Okay, all right. She asked me to borrow $800
to do what? What was somebody on Section 8 and the government paying
something
95%?
Skim. I read the rest. So it was a good story. It was a long paragraph. But when I saw $800, I was like,
she's a tenant, and the government's paying you, and she has just kick in $200 of it.
And she's behind on her rent.
And she's behind the $200.
And I said to her,
she's old? A young person?
Did you mean $80? You must have meant $80. You must have put an extra zero. You didn't mean $800.
Did she write that in writing, or she fixed her mouth to say that? She texted that and said, could you, the landlord,
who she owes back rent to, can she borrow $800 from you? Who would even, first of all, that's like going to the bank saying, bank, I know I'm behind and I ain't been making my monthly payments. Y'all already lent me some money, but guess what? I want some more. How could you go to a creditor that you already behind and ask them to give you more money? The audacity. I love the audacity. So I said,
she have children?
Yeah, but they're older. I said, I think you made a mistake. I think you put an extra zero.
I think she must have texted the wrong person.
No. It was me. I think you put an extra zero.
This is what you're dealing with. This is the movie you watch.
And so the reason why, and we started talking about this because Section 8 and benefits, because I do know that the cost of groceries and things like that have gone up, and they have cut some of the food stamps, and there have been reductions. And, you know, as the children age out, then Section 8 pays less of your rent and they give you less food. So I'm aware of that. And I know the climate that we're in. So I'm like, okay, you're a little behind. I'm not tripping. You may need a $40 spot. She'll be like, you give me 40, I'll give you back 80. I'm like, don't do that. I'm not a shark. If I loan you 40, just give me back my $40. I don't need $80. You don't need them extra $40. So I have that leniency and that empathy there. But when she asked me for $800,
what did you ask her what for?
It doesn't matter what it was for. It don't matter.
Maybe it would be a kidney disease.
No, it was not. She texted me a long paragraph about something for her. She needed a cast or something. It was something that it was inappropriate for me to. It would be inappropriate for me to loan her $800.
Or or something. Maybe she needed something. It wasn't medical.
Why are you sure? And if it was, should I have given her the $800?
If it was life or death, so you can keep getting that Section 8 check. You want to be alive.
Doesn't work that way, Mr.
I do the math.
No.
$800 at Section 8.
The point is, even with the people who are on, or if you yourself are on government assistance or receiving assistance, understand, as Mr. Henderson is stating,
this force is trying to stop that.
And what does a shift in that mean? What does a shift in groceries going up? What does that mean? My Walmart grocery order, it was usually like last year was like 116. Now it's 160. Same stuff. I ordered the same stuff. Now it's 160.
It was $16.
116, 106.
For what?
Just some simple stuff that I ordered from my mom.
But
my normal Walmart order was usually like $100, 106 to 116 bucks. I just ordered Walmart groceries yesterday. It was $160.
Wow.
Ain't no meat.
Wow.
No meat.
Wow.
Ain't no fruits and vegetables, maybe bananas.
Wow. And the people don't understand that, man. That right there, that should be on Instagram, how you should be saving your money or investing your money, keeping tab with inflation. Because there are forces that are trying to cut all of that social benefit.
And what does that mean for you?
And what does that mean if you're not thinking? So like I said, today's topic was, if you, Tracy, hey, you just coming in, Tracy, go back, DJ, that's the Lawrence. If you're just coming in late, Mario, I want you guys to start and go back and listen to this entirety. We started off by saying, in life, in business, in your world, if you want to change, there's nothing to change, and there's nobody to change but yourself. Not your employer, not your wife, your sister, your brother, your friend. There's never anything that you need on the outside of you. You need to change the inside, your thoughts, your feelings, and your belief, and then it will change on the outside. And I gave the example too about, my Porsche car in the garage, and then I gave example about the man that needs 700 and his employer was paying him 500. No sense in begging the employer, talking about messing with the employer. The employer said, I can pay you $500 to get lost. Now, no sense in you putting no pressure on that man. That's that person. That's that job. Then you gotta be lucky you getting a job for $500. You already know the score. You already know what it is. So now be happy that they don't fire you. Be happy. Be happy and blessed that you got that $500 job, even though you need $700. And now the universe telling you, guess what? You ain't finished yet. It's something for you to do.
You can do more.
Math. You can do more,
right?
Because you need more. Now, what you gonna do?
Right.
And it's up to you. It's nothing. If you want more, you have to make a change. That's it. You can't borrow from Heisey. You can't borrow from me. Then I'm gonna ask you, what are you doing?
He don't go through the details. I'm not going through that because the answer is no.
I got a 1:30 appointment. You gotta
call the man about my tires.
I am, but I gotta.
Okay. All right. Today's Wednesday. The Understanding Money Show will be back on Saturday at 9 a.m. in the AM with Mr. Robert Henderson Jr. and Mr. James T. Thomas. And then Mr. Henderson and I will be back next Wednesday. You have tuned out. Are we going to be here Wednesday? Yes, next Wednesday. We'll be in town. Next Wednesday, same time, same place for transitions. Until next time, peace.
Peace. One love.